All right. Sorry about the delay here. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. Just bear with me one moment. Bear with me one moment. All right, cool. So I want to do a little trade recap from the week here. So pretty much I want to go through my trades from this past week. And okay, I want to go through my trade recaps from this past week. I had 5 trades this week, 4 wins, 1 loss. And I basically want to break them down here today. And you know, just kind of see like, you know, what we could have done better, you know, to either reduce risk or, you know, just overall trying to figure out like what I could have done better within regards to these trades. So real quick, I need to pull up my trade journal here. Gotta find it real quick. Hope you all are having a good Saturday. It's about 7:30 a.m. here. Got a workout in. Feeling good. Okay, cool. Okay, let me bear with me one more moment. I'm going to swap some screens around just so that way I can share with you my trade journal as well. You guys can kind of see what I was looking at and all that beautiful jazz. So if you got any questions or anything, you know, feel free to drop them in the YouTube chat here. More than down to answer anything and everything, give you more clarity on why I took the trades, etc., etc. So the first trade that we had, let me flip over to the screen. So the first trade that we had was on Monday. It was a profit. We were trading New York session. I took it obviously, and there was no runner. So we did have like just some like basic ass new stuff. I was risking 24.5 pips in total on this trade, a little bit higher than I wanted to, but it was overall like in a breakout, and we'll go over that in a second. I only was able to secure 8 pips. Had a little error with my magic keys that I didn't really realize, where when auto break even was triggered, I actually had it set to bring the stop loss 8 pips in profit instead of just bringing it to break even. So like auto break even was triggered, but it was an error on my side of things where when auto break even was hit, when 8 pips in profit, was hit, auto break even would trigger. And my error was, instead of having it set to just bring stop loss to break even, I had it set to bring stop loss to 8 pips in profit. So auto break even was hit, and then immediately it was like stopped out, and I was like looking at the charts and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I had to do a little bit of digging on my magic keys to figure out what it was. But overall, this was a long, so I'm not sure why I put this here, but yeah, I'm pretty sure everything, or I'm not sure why I put that there, honestly. I can't tell if this is supposed to be bullish or bullish, but either, because I said yes here. So pretty much like, my rule of thumb is look to see which direction the daily candle is, which direction the H4 candle is, and then trade in that same direction. So in this case, it says bearish and bearish, which I think is correct. but I say yes here, so I'm not sure why. I was trading like the 8 a.m. Eastern time session. The entry signal was off the 15-minute, broke the high of the previous 15-minute. So I took my entry off the 15-minute, which usually I don't take entries off the 15-minute. I actually removed the 15-minute from my trading view, just because like I don't want to trade on it moving forward. I don't think it's a high time frame trading session or trading whatever the fuck you want to call it. But anyways, pretty much during the trade, I managed a trade right here, auto break even triggered at plus 8 pips, but didn't realize I had an error in my magic keys setup. SL was moved to plus 8 pips in profit and immediately hit, so trade closed at plus 8 pips profit. And yeah, so this is pretty much what the chart looked like on my magic keys. On my magic keys. You tell it's Saturday morning. On my trading view. And so pretty much, was going to take entry when 8 a.m. 30-minute candle broke the high of the previous, but accidentally opened a sell. So I closed immediately and price was a couple pips ahead, so I didn't take the entry. And that was like right here that I was looking to take that entry. And this, like I said, this was just like expecting New York volume to push this bad boy through, and just see if it's going to continue up here. And so I took the entry based on 15-minute breaking the high of the previous 15-minute. This was like the actual entry that I took. As you can see here, this is the 15-minute time frame or whatever. So this 15-minute broke the high of the previous, and as you can see, went up. 8 pips profit was secured. Price hit auto break even, etc., just like I had already explained. So I exited the trade because stop loss hit in profit. Obviously, emotions were, I was a little mad, and I'm going to show you what happened after that because of that, which is kind of funny. Following my trading plan, yes. Anything else you want to note about the trade? Nope. And then how could I have done better? So how I could have done better with this trade is I entered at the break of the 30-minute or break of 7:30 a.m. 30-minute candle high. Traded the 8 a.m. candle as volume was expected to come in. This was risky to me though, since price hadn't closed above the zone yet, and also the 8 a.m. candle had no bottom wick. Good trade regardless. So now let me flop over to my other screen. Okay, cool. So you can see my MT4 now, or my MT5. And so pretty much what I was looking at here was, we were in like a range right here. So we had, a little zone here that, we were ranging in and out of. It honestly looked like price was going to break down. So that's kind of like why I was in the position to get ready to take sells. And so that's like what the initial error was, so I took this first position. As you can see, I took like the first position and immediately closed the entry because I was like, oh shit, I just took a sell and prices like skyrocketing up. That wasn't, what I anticipated to do there. So I kind of missed the first entry based on the 30-minute there. So if we go down to the 15-minute, that candle closed, which was like the 7:30 candle, I think, and then this was the 7:45 candle, where you can see I took that entry. Oops, not used to. Oh, come on. No, it's not even gonna let me click this little dumbass thing. Okay, whatever. So as you can see, this candle that I took the entry on broke the high of the previous candle, and it immediately was like, rocket launch to, or this candle closed, and then the 8 a.m. candle opened, and it went straight up into 8 pips profit, and I was able to get a good position. Now, here's kind of like where the dumbass in me came into play here. Is I was a little pissed off about, the fact that I was only able to secure 8 pips. I was like, fuck, man, are you serious? Like, this looked like it was going to play out good. I think I was looking at this zone up here for it to come into, and I was like, man, like I'm going to miss the rest of the move all because I had a dumbass error in my magic keys. And so I took another entry as soon as the 15-minute broke the high of the previous 15-minute. And as you can see, it went into, profit a little bit, and I closed it. I was like, Mike, this is a dumbass move. and you shouldn't do that. So so I closed it up, and that was it for the day. That was pretty much like the trade that I took there, and yeah, that was it. So all right, let me see if I can delete all selected. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was Monday's trade. Now let me see here. Jake, hey Mike, hope you're doing good. Yep, doing great, thank you. What is this platform journal you're using? So this is actually Notion. I'll drop it in here. Notion dot, I think it's .com. It might be Notion.co though. But try one of those. It's free to use actually. It's a really cool platform to use. And I'll flip back over here. So really cool platform to use. A lot of customizations. I actually use it for like fucking everything. Like as you can see, I'll just move over here to my personal home or whatever. Like I have like all of my workouts and stuff in here. Like I have a lot of shit in here. So I got like my entire workouts. I have like all of my work stuff. I have just like some personal stuff, like a whole learning center. So for example, like market fluidity, like I have notes and stuff in here. Yeah, there's a lot of shit you can do with Notion. But yeah, I have a ton of shit in here. Travel and plans, whatever, tons of stuff. But yeah, so I pretty much use it as a a trading journal as well. And obviously I haven't been too consistent with it, but now that I'm starting the YouTube stuff, really trying to stay consistent with this. So just to cap it off with that trade itself there, we were able to secure plus 8 pips. So we're gonna go ahead and write this down. Oops. And we'll track it through the week and see what it was overall. So that was trade number 1. Now trade number 2 here was the first and only loss of the week. And so we actually had like quite a bit of news that had happened overnight before I'd come to the charts. I was pretty much risking 22 pips here. This was a long position, and the outcome was minus 8 pips. So let me go back here. Alright, so the outcome amount was minus 8 pips. Daily direction was weak bullish. H4 direction was weak bullish. I was taking long, so I was trading in the right direction. 8 a.m. was like the time frame. The entry signal was 15-minute closed at resistance. Next 15-minute broke the high. And obviously it was trading based off the 15-minute. Wasn't able to secure partials or anything, but basically I managed the trade by closing full position as it was rejecting resistance and broke the low of the current candle. Was I following my trading plan? No, should have waited for break and close above zone before taking the entry. And so this was one of those cases where I was basically anticipating price. As you can see, I was anticipating price to move based on the volume coming in, and as you can see, it hadn't broken close above yet. And so so basically what I was looking at here is this candle right here closed. The next candle, created, or I think like immediately broke the high. And from there, I was like, all right, I'm going to take an entry, basically anticipate price to keep going. But it started rejecting to create this lower wick. And I was like, ah, shit, I don't like this. It might just get stuck in the range. So I closed it. And so as you can see, my original stop loss was 22 pips like I had listed here. I was risking 22 pips, and I managed to only lose 8 pips, so not bad at all. Obviously, good instinct to kind of pull out of something before it goes too far bad. But as you can see, it never would have came down to hit my stop loss, and it ended up going up to my TP. So I missed out on a trade because of trying to manage risk too hard here. So Basically, price closed strong bullish at resistance right here, broke the high of the previous candle right here. That was my entry. Low of current candle was broken, closed full position for 8 pip loss, as I realized it was a dumbass trade because I didn't wait for a break and close. And so that was kind of like my cue to, you know, close partials or close the position, was when the low of the current candle was broken. And then for my trade idea ended up working out, but I didn't take the entry because I got to stay disciplined to 1 trade per day only, and sticking to my rules of only entering on a break and close. So I'm pretty sure I was streaming through this and I ended up saying like, okay, cool. Like after this candle had closed, I was like, all right, you know, now it makes sense, you know, to take the buy, which was off of this candle. And as you can see, it just went straight to profit. And yeah, it missed a good trade, but that's why you got to stay disciplined. Exited the trade, this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so pretty much over and over, wait for break and close, wait for break and close, wait for break and close. So yeah, long story short, definitely should have waited for a break and close there. So let me flop over to my other screen and we'll look at the MT5, and this was right here. So you can see where I took the entry. You can see where I took the entry and where I closed as candle was breaking the current low of the previous candle. And so I was pretty much looking at like a range of, I think something like this, and I might have been drawing this up based on 30 minutes, so it might look a little cleaner. Let's see, that was 161,780. So let's see, that's 161. Yeah, that right there. And then this one was 161. I think that's 277. Yeah, that's right. So I was basically looking at like this kind of big ass range here with these wicks and stuff. And so, you know, obviously, you know, the 30-minute close is what I should have waited for there. But yeah, so nonetheless, I mean, I'm not too pissed off about it. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't agree with the way I took the trade, and so that caused me to close the position early, which I think is a good thing, because I wasn't comfortable with like how the trade was going or how I took the trade. Whereas, you know, if I had been taking it off the 30-minute like I always do, I probably would have rocked with it, and everything would have been good. You know, I would have went to profits and everything would have been great from there. But that wasn't the case, and you know, ended up missing the move just based on me not being disciplined in that moment. And it is what it is. You know, sometimes that happens, but you can bet your bottom dollar that that's not gonna happen to me again. So so cool. Let's flop back over to my trade journal over here. So that was minus 8 pips there. 22, 23, 24 is the next one. So profit New York, obviously stopped at entry. So basically I was risking 21 pips, outcome amount 10 pips. Daily and H4 were bullish. I wasn't trading in the candle in the direction of the H1 and H4. Which I don't see why, because it says I took a long, which I definitely did. Huh, my notes are a little wacky here. So I was trading like the 8 a.m. to 9:30 time frame, 30-minute broken close above resistance, managed by, you know, at 8 pips profit trigger break even, then 10 pips profit secured 90%. So here's basically what I was looking at on TradingView. So we had this range here at 161.112 and then 160.950. Candle barely closed above the range. This one here, as you can see, that's just above the yellow line. And so I basically told myself if the next candle breaks the high of the previous, then I'm going to take that damn entry. And so that's exactly what I did. Entry at candle broke. Entry as candle broke high of previous candle. Took the entry there, 161.180. Partial take profit at 10 pips, secured 90%. Stop loss to entry. So runner was obviously stopped at entry on the rejection there, which I think it actually ended up playing out. So if we come over to MT4, let me just see, runner stopped the entry NA. Yeah, everything's good there. So if we come over to MT5 over here, you can see this right here is where the entry was taken. And then obviously you can see, partials were secured there. And if we go to 30-minute, it looks even a little bit better as far as like the actual move that I was chasing there. So let me so just to show the range I was looking at here, so pretty much I was looking at this and I was looking at this. And so obviously price broke here, broke and closed above here, and then I took the entries on the next candle and was able to go to the happy land there. So that was plus 10 pips. So we're a net of 10 pips profit for the week so far. So I took that one dumbass loss. That's all good. And so the other one is right here. So the 25th. Let's go back over to the Notion board. And so on the 25th, and this was Thursday, 25th, New York, runner stopped at entry. So we have GJ, it was a short, risk 14.3 pips, 10 pips. 10 pips was the outcome amount here. So the daily direction was bearish and H4 was bearish, so I was trading in the right direction. I was trading 6:30 a.m., so a little bit before like what I have listed here as high times, high volume sessions. The entry signal, H1 broke the low of the previous H1. What time frames did you enter off of H1? How did you manage a trade? Obviously, just as my rules, 8 pips profit, P2P triggered at 10 pips profit. So I was able to secure 10 pips. And as you can see, this is kind of what I was looking at here. So I had this range here, whatever that is, in between 162 and 161.900. Then I had this other range right here, and as you can see, price closed below, below each individual candle here. So closed below this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And so I basically anticipated, okay, cool, when the low is breaking on the next candle, I'm going to take a sell. And as you can see, this is based on the H1 here, so higher time frame, and it ended up working out here. H1 and 30-minute close below support, trade taken as current H1 broke the low of the previous H1, and then that's basically how I was taken out of the trade here. So runner stopped that entry. Good trade. Don't really think I could have done anything better there. So let's flop over to MT5 here. And so I think this was here, 25th. So let's see, this was, so I had my zone based on this right here, I believe. Yep. And then I had another piece right up here. And so I was basically just looking for price to either break and close above here or break and close below here, which this candle did. It broke and closed below, and so that's when I took the sell right there, and obviously was able to secure right there. And so, and then as you can see price came back to my entry there. And let's look at this on the 30-minute. So yeah, oh yeah, that's right. This is perfect because on the this is why I took it based on the H1, because the 30-minute broken close below, then the next candle here basically just like did like some low volume shit. Then the next candle here, you know, broken or went back into the range. And so I told myself, if this candle right here breaks the high of the previous, the bullish one, then it's no trade, it's a fake out, you know, it's going back into the range, it's probably going to buy up from there. But as you can see, the 30-minute broken close, or broke the low of that bullish 30-minute, and then that's where I took the trade, basically just lining it up here with what the H1 was looking like. So yeah, this was kind of a cool one, just based on, you know, me being confident in the higher time frame, moving in the right direction. As you can see, you know, it went to profit pretty much immediately there. So that was that trade. That was plus 10 pips. That was Thursday. Yeah. So we're at a net of plus 20 pips now. And so let's see. Let's check the chat real quick. Jake, I see you draw fairly big zones. Do you incorporate the candle wicks too? In which case, do you wait for price to completely close above the zone, including the wicks? All right, so that's a really good question, Jake. So, yeah, so good question there. So yes, I do incorporate the wicks, and I basically just do that because I'm looking at it as, okay, cool, you know, these are common rejection zones. You know, like there was a wick that came up here and it rejected some way, somehow, and so you don't know if that's going to be the same thing again or not. And so basically the reason that I do that is so you know, I can take a mental note like, okay, cool, this current trade is in a rejection zone and it might reject. So let me see if I can find a different one here that maybe shows it a little bit better. Nah. Might be. Yeah, so this is a good example here, Jig. So, oh, now let me zoom in here. So as you can see, like this candle right here, so candle barely closed above range. So this candle right here, it barely closed above my yellow line here. So I'm really looking looking for like a break and close above the yellow line. But then I'm drawing this zone here based on the wicks, because, you know, I want to make sure, like, okay, cool, you know, if price does come in this area, there is a potential rejection that's going to happen, because, you know, price did come into this area and it rejected at some point in the past. And this candle wasn't really included, just because I'd drawn up the zone when only this candle and this candle and this candle were printed. And so this candle had happened after I had already drawn up the zone, so I just didn't include it moving forward. But as you can see, you know, this candle barely broke or barely closed above that 161.112 line there, but it didn't fully break and close above the zone here, the box, the rectangle. And so, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to break and close above the entire box, the entire zone. But if it does break and close inside of the zone, inside of the box, then it's done something that the previous candles haven't been able to do. So this candle broke and closed inside of the box, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles haven't been able to do that. So that tells me, okay, cool, this candle did it. I do need to be cautious of some rejection, but probability is telling me that this is likely going to continue to keep going. So hopefully that answers your question, Jake. And if it doesn't, just let me know. I'll try and explain it a little bit further. But cool. So it looks like we're going to the last trade of the week. This was Friday, profit, New York session, stopped that entry. Pretty much took a long risk 17.5 pips, and we were up plus 10 pips. So this right here, daily was bullish, H4 was bullish, took a buy, so it was going in that direction. This was trading at like 6:30 a.m. I took this trade pretty early, but momentum was like launching, and I just kind of like saw that it was going to keep on going type of thing. So the entry signal was price broke above 161.920, current 30-minute respected low, and broke the high. Entry was taken at the high, entered off of the 30-minute. I was able to set to break even at plus 8 pips, and then take partials at plus 10 pips. Here was the trade right here, or what I was looking at here on Trading View. And so pretty much had this zone marked up here. Same type of thing here, Jake. Another good example. This candle broke and closed above 161.920, but it didn't break and close above the box. But it did something that the other 3 candles that came into this area, or 4 candles that came into this area, couldn't do. And so basically what I did is I waited for the low to form, and then took an entry at the break of the high. And as you can see, it went up, barely wicked, my partial take profit before coming down to my entry, in which I think it ended up continuing. Yeah. So if we pull it up here on the MT5, which I will in 1 second, but just want to make, no notes there. So let me flop over to MT5 there. And cool, so you can see, I was looking at this zone kind of, and then I was looking at like something like this. So pretty much like a break and close below or a break and close above. This candle made it happen, and then what I did here was took an entry here as price broke the high right here. And as you can see, went up into profits, came down, stopped me out on the next 30-minute candle, and it ended up coming down here, forming another level of support. This was with that news, the CPI news that we had on Friday, that we had this big rejection, and then it came back up here. So this would have been another, good entry for somebody who had missed the move completely, based on price coming up, forming a resistance, coming down, forming support, and then going up to break that resistance and ultimately continue on going, which, as you can see, it came back down and whatever. But yeah, so that was pretty much the last trade of the week there. That was the Friday trade, and that was pretty much all the trades. So we're looking at plus 8 pips, minus 8 pips, plus 10 pips, plus 10 pips, plus 10 pips. So overall, plus 30 pips for the week. So, if you think about that being a standard lot, a standard lot size trade, that's, plus $300 on the week. If you think about it being a 10 lot, that's plus $3,000 on the week. If you think about it being, a 100 lot, that's plus $30,000 on the week. So, overall, obviously profitable week for me. I am happy to say the least. And so what I want to do here now is I want to check the chat. Okay, good. All good there. So what I want to do here now is I'm going to take the rest of the time today to go ahead and do a little simulation here. So I'm going to close that down, do a little simulation, and continue on with my Saturday. Okay, let's get this thing updated. Restore the last used settings. We're gonna do, what's this, June 26th to July 2nd. So we're gonna be coming through the end of the month and the start of a new month, which might give us a little bit of wacky situations, but you never know. And so we add in the daily. And these are the only things I'm going to look at, the only time frames I'm going to look at. As mentioned earlier, you know, I'm trying to stay away from the 15-minute, anything lower than the 30-minute. I just don't see any need for it. 15-minute, I mean, the 30-minute is more of a higher confirmation, in my opinion. So let's check it out. Cool. So as you can see, daily is kind of in a little range here. So let's see. Yeah, it only works on MT4. Jig. There's a way that I need to get want to get the damn, it's annoying as hell to have to go in there into shapes every time. But cool, so this is what we're looking at on the daily. So we're looking at resistance up there, support here. So, you know, could potentially break the high here to continue north. But let's go ahead and see what it looks like on the lower time frames. So we're looking at H4 here. Got a lot of BS here from the last session. And so let me readjust this based on H4 here. We'll do the most recent. Actually, what I need to do, my apologies. I need to fast forward this to the right time. Okay. Yeah, Jake, that's definitely why it's not working. It only works on MT4. Cool. So H4 did close above here, which we could probably see what happened there on H1 here. Damn. Not gonna lie, I freaking hate like working off of like MT4 and shit. MT5's a little bit better, but for the most part, this shit is annoying as hell. Alright, cool. So based on 30-minute, alright, let's see. H4 is bearish currently. Daily is like a weak bullish. So we're kind of like in like a little range, it seems like. Need to clone. All right, so 30 minutes. So pretty much what I think could happen here is price needs to come down, create some level of support somewhere to go up to retest the high that was created, or price is going to go up, form some level of resistance up here, and then come down and test the lows. So let's just get this thing going and see what happens. What I do know right now is I don't want to take a sell if candle breaks a low, because I don't think that's going to be smart. I actually think based on the H4 here, it's going to make more sense for price to come up into this zone over here. But we'll see. And kind of like I was saying, based on daily too, price come up here and test the previous highs over there. So if this candle right here goes to break the high, I think this will be a good situation to take a buy, even though it's already broke the low. Because like this just kind of shows like there's a lot of volume coming in through this trade. Now, however, if this candle closes bearish, then the next candle on the break of the low of this current one is going to be a good place to take a sell entry. But we'll see. It's a good time for me to take a sip of coffee. All right, we got 30-minute candle ending in about 5 minutes. 2 minutes, 1 minute. And done. So weak bearish. I'm not sure I like that. Not sure I like that for the sell. But I guess it depends on what price does here with that weak bearish candle. So I'm going to say that we draw up a nice little support here. And we draw up nice little resistance here. And we can say that we're now in this new tiny ass range. And on H1, I'm honestly not sure what makes the most sense. I'm thinking that sells make the most sense here, but based on this weak bearish, I'm almost thinking that buys might make the most sense here. So let's just see how this next candle starts to move here. If it breaks a low, I think we'll probably want to take a sell. Especially with the way that the wick is formed like that. Looks like it's going to try and break the high though. Or it's just going to range. And so what I'm honestly going to say here, typically I would say that an entry right there as it broke the low made sense. But I'm going to say that because, we know that we're consciously in this little range, we need to wait for a break and close outside of this range. Which this candle is going to close in a couple of seconds here. Okay, so close bullish, above the range, obviously. H1, close bullish, okay. Respected the low, it looks like, and the high of the previous H1. This is also 8 a.m., so it's New York Open, I believe. Yep, New York Open there. So what I'm going to say here is if price breaks the high, we want to take a buy. I really didn't want that to happen though, right there. I didn't want it to break immediately, but I think it's going to keep going. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it. That's why this is a demo or a what you want to call it, simulation. And then I'm going to set my auto break even. And then I'm going to set my stop loss below this 30-minute. Set it below. We're going to see what happens here. It's trying to go. It's trying to go. As you can see, the auto break even was triggered. Just needs to go 10 pips, which it hasn't. It's kind of rejecting. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, GJ. Perfect. 10.9 pips. We're going to close 90%. And we're going to let the rest go, see if it comes up. What I'm actually going to do here, though, is I'm going to bring my take profit to be right there at the previous highs. Speed up the tick a little bit. And as you can see, stopped out. So just to recap this, perfect little range here. We had a resistance formed here based on, all the BS. We had a support formed here. Price came closed above or inside of the previous resistance. So it came and closed above the past candles that tried to break out. This candle did break. We were able to secure 10 pips. And, we were, the runner was stopped out at entry. So nonetheless, we had a 0.5% increase in the balance just based off of that. In my opinion, this is exactly why you must secure every chance that you have. Every freaking chance you have, you must secure profits. If it's blue, it's on you. Man, the worst feeling ever is when price starts to go in your favor and then it just fucking slam dunk rejects, past your entry, and you're just sitting there like on your hands like, oh fuck, man, I can't believe I did that. Yes, Jake, I believe you do. I believe you do need to have an account open on a broker to use the sim. So as you can see, I have a FX Sway account, just for like a demo account set up. Just specifically to use this on it. I actually never even had an FX Sway account in the past or anything. I just found, the first broker that had like an MT4, download or whatever. And I just downloaded it from there, or I created the account and then downloaded it. And yeah, just been using this ever since. Cool. So we have this, here on 30-minute. As you can see, price is already broken and closed above the previous, high here. So I'm going to already say, if price goes up and breaks a high there, we're going to take buy entry. But let's just look at how it looks here. Kind of like a past resistance, a past zone here. So it might be something to be cautious about. But nonetheless, we'll see. We'll see. We're going to draw this up. See what it looks like. H4, yeah, kind of similar thing, but looks like there's range to come up. That's like 20, 25, 30 pips. Oh yeah, and that's the daily high that we were saying is probably going to go test. So yeah, that makes perfect sense to take buys here as soon as price breaks the high. Whoa, almost lost it there. Oh, kind of got me a little bit. Now let's see. Now this is a pretty large stop loss, 30 pips. Definitely large, so I'm just going to say that price shouldn't come down and break this low, and if it does, then I probably don't want to be in it anyways. So that makes the stop loss 15 pips. Seems much better in my opinion. So we'll see how this moves here. Yeah, and see, this is yeah, this doesn't look good here. So I'm just gonna say we'll close 50% of the trade just to reduce some risk in case it does go and hit the stop loss. And of course it's not. That's another thing I've started to realize though is, if you feel uncomfortable at any time, just take some risk off the table. Just take some risk off the table, close 50%, and it is what it is. It's much better than the full position going to hit your stop loss. And even if it does, you at least took some risk off the table. So, it's not going to be the full loss that you could have had. So. Yeah, it's really struggling here to push. Yeah, and that's where it's gonna go hit it. So we're just gonna close all because it's definitely would have hit it there. And that was the trade for that day. So that's a loss there. That brought us down below, took away all of our profits from the previous day. That's a terrible feeling, but it's part of trading. And as you can see, it came back down inside of that range even further. And yeah, it's just like creating a range. Yeah. So is what it is. That's just one of those probability things. Didn't go in our direction and nothing that we could really do about that. Seemed valid to me. All right. So 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. So this is Wednesday on the simulation. And so if we look at daily, this bearish close is kind of tricky, especially since the previous one broke the low. So we're just going to ignore that for now. So yeah, we're kind of in a range on the 4-hour here. We have a resistance here and we have a support here. So we're in a range on the 4-hour, the hourly. Yeah, so we're pretty much at that zone right there. Let's see, 30 minutes. So we have a support here, a resistance here. And some most recent support there. Honestly, I don't like anything in this range right here, so I'm just going to draw that up there. draw this up here, and I'm going to at least be looking for a break and close above or below one of these areas. Just because this does not look good in here. By the way, Jake, no question is a stupid question, so no worries. Yeah, it's really just range in here. It's coming into 8 a.m. here. Damn, big rejection on that. Not really bearish. H4, weak bullish. Yeah, this one's tricky. This might be one of those no trade days. Yeah, I'm not that savage yet, Jake, so you're all good. All right, so this is definitely interesting because price did break and close below here. It's starting to move bearish. It's got a small candle or a small wick here that it's created as a high. Could come down to here, but we have this, wick and this wick. We got some rejections here, so it could absolutely not come down here. That would be the break of the H1 low. I think it makes sense. It's a simulation, so we're going to take the trade on the break of the low. Why not? If it decides to break the low. Why not? Doesn't look like it's going to break the low. Oh, maybe it will. And with that wick that it created, it makes me like the sells more if it does break the low. So we'll see. Looks like it's just going to be in this big ass range here. This is coming into 9 a.m. 1300 hours is 9 a.m. Yeah, and I don't think it's valid to trade in this range. So yeah, this would be a no trade day for me. Really disciplined about being on the charts only from 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And obviously I'm not going to take a trade in between 9 and 9:30 because, there's a 30-minute candle open during that time. And if it closes, above or whatever or below at 9:30, that has nothing to do with me because I'm not trading at that time anymore, So this would be a no trade day for me, which that's not a problem. Sometimes not taking a trade is better than taking a trade. Cool. So let's see what this looks like now. We're in Thursday of the simulation, so price is kind of at this this daily support. Daily support. Then we have like a daily resistance right there, so we're kind of in like a little range on the daily, which probably explains why everything looks so shitty in this last session that we just tried to trade. So we look at the H4 here, and we can see we got a lot of stuff going on here, honestly. Price could potentially come down into that zone. Doesn't look like it's very far away. Yeah, it's only 13, 15 pips or so. So not something I would want to trade in. And so if we mark up the most recent, resistance area here, we're pretty much looking at this. Not looking too good on the H4 there. H1, the zone makes sense here. But we're pretty much looking at like a range in here. So let's see on 30-minute. Dang, man. This is a shitty week to pick for the simulation. But honestly not mad about it, because this was some point in the recent past. So yeah, that whole zone looks like shit with these wicks and stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking that a break and close below is what we really want to see. Something below there. That's what we really want to see, in my opinion. And then break and close above, probably there or something, maybe even higher. It all looks like shit on the top side. But it also comes down with like the date. We're at the end of the month, June 30th. And so that was like something that I mentioned, when I picked this date. We're going to be dealing with a monthly end and a monthly start. So this could be kind of why the market's kind of shitty based on what we're looking at here. But nonetheless, like I said, this is real market data. Oh. It's real market data, and it's something that we would see. Dang, it's 22 pips down. All right, let's see if this comes up. All right, I don't know that I like this. This thing's rejecting. I was gonna say, let's see if it comes up to create a top wick and then starts to break the low again. But on second thought, I don't think it's good. Yeah, man, as soon as the 30 minutes are opening, like the low is being broken. I think I want to break and close below 164,785. Yeah, this looks like shit. It's 8:30 a.m. See if we can get a break and close below on the 9 a.m. Nope. Goat shit trading day for that one. Yeah, Jesus. Things all over the place. Alright, so that would have been another no trade day. Man, I hope we don't have any of these in real life coming up soon. So no trade days are the worst in real life. Alright, so on a daily here, so this, keep in mind this is the first day of the month, July 1st. So on the daily, looks like we can definitely come down into this area down here. Clearly are moving to the downside. H4 looks like if we break the low, we can come down into that area that that I just showed on the daily. So come down into this area. H1 kind of in a little range here. Let's see what this looks like on a 30-minute. I don't know. This was a tough session here. Tough simulation here. I don't really like any of this. I guess with a break and close up here, it would potentially go up. Sketchy. I think the cells are gonna look a lot better though. Yep. So what I'm going to want to see is a high created, a top wick created, then come down and break the low. And we'll trail the stops based on the high that was created of this candle. I think that's going to be what we want to see here. This is like 7 a.m. Eastern based on the time here on the session. Bingo. And like I said, we'll trail based on the high. Don't tell me it's just going to reject and go hit the stop loss. So this is a Friday on this session, so Probably not the safest day to trade, especially, and it's the first day of the month. Come on now, GJ. Don't do me too dirty today. It is Saturday. Perfect. And let's see if this will go down and hit that TP. Damn, there's nothing even down here. And so same thing as the trade that I took. Since, you know, the low has been broken based on this 30-minute, a nice wick was created. It shouldn't come back up and break that high. So we'll trail it based on that high, and if it does, it's probably going to flip around. So be a good place to take us out with the stop loss and profit. Yep, and let's see. Yep, as you can see, it finishes bullish, but the next candle takes a big dump right into the TP. But cool. So this was that was Friday, right at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Let's look at the closed trades here. So we pretty much we had a win. Then we had a loss. Then we had, what was that? So we had a win, a loss. This was the same day. So the 27th was a win. The 28th was a loss. The first was a win. So we had 2 wins and 1 loss, and then 2 no trading days. So that's pretty much it for this this stream today. Let me see here. Can you try this sim for free? Yeah, Jake, I believe so. If you download everything off of softforex.com, if you just download like the simulator, upload it to MT4, I think when you go to like launch it, it will ask you if like you want to do a free trial or whatever the case. So yeah, I think you can do a free trial or like a light version of it. And you should be able to rock and roll off of that. So, but cool. Thanks for tuning in. For anybody that watches a replay or anything like that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the free Forex Telegram community that I got here. Description is in the bio. And with that said, I'm going to carry on with my Saturday here. Have a good one. Adios.